The clone base, a staple of the LEGO Star Wars community for over a decade now. Initially taking off in the late 2000s alongside the Clone Wars TV show and the LEGO sets that came along with it. Big, small, detailed, simple, there were bases all over YouTube and the internet. There has been a bit of a recent resurgence behind superstars like Coconut Brick Studios and Firebird Bricks. I myself never truly made a clone base, which is why today I'm taking my first shot at a clone base MOC. I'm going to start with a 48 by 48 gray base plate. Not too big, but definitely not too small. I've already lined out here with the bricks what the layout is going to be. I'm going to use this snot technique for the ground on both sides. For this back brick wall, I'm going to keep things simple and just make a thick brick built wall with some mild details. I apologize, some of these clips are a little bit darker and grainier. The power went out where I'm from and the lights have been a little bit difficult since then. For the sidewalls, I'm going to start by building the exterior up a little bit using these slopes. This will elevate things and give it a bit of a better look on the outside than a completely squared off box, and will lift things up for the plate wall that I'm going to build. Here's the first wall, pretty simple in design with a little bit of greebling and some detail. I like this technique a lot, although it can run through the tile collection pretty quickly for the bigger walls. Here's the other wall design. I built an elevator and some pipes. In case I didn't mention this earlier, it will be a 2-story base. Now to cover up some of this ugly stuff we have going on up front, I'm using these scaffolding pieces here right in the front. Then on the sides, I will use some 1x4 bricks to get almost to the top of the plate walls, and we'll get to why we're not going all the way up there in just a little bit. Now on the front, I built this semi-working doorway, which is for the short side of the base. The main opening is going to stay fully open, kind of like a garage port, and also because I don't want to try and build a large door on this one. Now back to those exterior walls. This is why we left that extra little bit of space, so that we can add these big 2x bricks to bring everything together and add some stability. So when I do add the roof in the upper level, it isn't resting on top of the plate wall. I'll tile off the top here so that way it sits right on top at the perfect height and the roof has something to rest on. Next, I'm going to add some cheese slopes and a layer of plate at the edge of the larger snot brick ground so that it looks like an actual garage port that you see where vehicles enter with a slight lip from the outside to the inside. Alright, I've alluded to already, now we got to talk about the roof. I'm using these Technic plates together to act as the roof and a bit of a lookout post and a landing pad. I'm attempting to use some pins and Technic to hold it together underneath, and I got a lot of decorating on this thing to do, so I'll be right back when we get it all done. And here is a look at the final result. I used mostly dark gray for the landing pad portion of the lookout and where the windows are, and then some antennas for communication up there as well. I also have the elevator almost right above the one in the lower level for continuity's sake. I made this one a little bit more boxed and protected since it's an outdoor elevator out in airspace where it can get shot at. I added some artillery guns and anti-aircraft torpedoes for defense on the side as well. Using the Technic plates was probably a bad idea since they don't fully click together and lock together the way I was hoping, but it definitely gets the job done. I used some pegs and plates on the sides to cover up most of the black holes and use some circle tiles for a little bit of design. The roof may be done, but it's not yet time to add to the base. First, let's fill the base with some vehicles and clones. The first vehicle we'll use is the 2017 Republic Fighter Tank, aka the best one. It's my favorite and it fits right in there perfectly. Next up we have an AT-RT, and this is actually Solid Brick Studios' alternate build designed from the Clone vs. Droids battle pack earlier this year. I may have made it incorrectly because mine is super brittle and not stable, so I'm just going to treat this one like it is under maintenance. As for the clones, we are going to use the classic Phase 1 clone troopers. Most of these are the Clone Wars variants, and we do have a couple of ARF troopers in here as well. Some troops have some accessories, but all of them will have some brick arms weapons. As for the leaders, we have the commander, the sergeant, and the lieutenant leading the way. These are by far some of my favorite clones. All you need now is the captain, but not for its current price. Now let's go ahead and get this first floor set up. Here's the first level of the base, filled with clone soldiers, clone leaders, the fighter tank, the AT-RT repair station, and some weapon racks and other items. One thing the lower level could definitely maybe use was a wall separating these two sections, but I think it operates nicely as kind of similar to a very open garage look. Now we need to add some clones to the roof. We'll have them scattered throughout with some on the guns, some by the lookout, and throughout the roof. We have now come to the moment of truth. Adding the roof over the garage and completing the base. Almost a perfect fit, resting right on top and didn't collapse into itself. The top level and lower levels are buzzing with troops going about their day-to-day operations. Wait, what's this? Is that the classic 2002 Republic gunship coming in for a landing on the pad? It's the original Phase 1 clone troopers coming in for extra assistance. I love this set. I've had it in my collection for over a decade. It's moved across the country with me. It's even survived multiple LEGO Dark Ages from me. It is super old, and I bought it used, so it's a very brittle, but it just looks great. I love seeing it on this MOC and being able to use it, and those original Phase 1 clone troopers from way back in the day. Just a nice nostalgic feeling. I really like how this MOC turned out. It's not without its flaws, of course, but for my first dive into a clone base, I think it went pretty well. Minus this gap by the main garage entrance, but I'm just going to say that was made so that the LEGO set size ATRTs can actually fit.
Bruh.
The 2 levels of the base and an easily removable upper level add a nice touch in my opinion, despite a somewhat boring block-like exterior. I definitely look forward to making several more clone bases in the future. It is a genre I really enjoyed being a part of, with different and even better designs in the future. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this base and what you all would like to see next. You all already know the deal with the like and the subscribe buttons. They're free, they help me out a bunch, and you can unsubscribe at any time, but please don't. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all again next time.